Is Apple losing control of the smartphone war? Evidence inside. What's up, everyone? Back again, and today we're going to talk about Apple, their upcoming iPhone 14, and why they may be losing control in the smartphone war. Now, if you don't know what I mean by smartphone war, I made a recent video talking about how Samsung is waging a smartphone war against Apple. And it looks like this war is getting out of hand for Apple, because there are new reports coming out that is causing chaos within Apple. But before we get into all of that, I need some likes and subscribes. So can you help me out with that? It would be much appreciated, and thank you guys so much for doing that. Now let's begin, right? So here's the thing. Right now, Apple is standing at a very interesting point in time where they have more competition than ever before. In fact, you could argue that the smartphone market has never been so competitive. Every brand is bringing their absolute best when it comes to performance, camera design, and battery life. But what we've seen historically is that every time there's this increase in competition, Apple responds by pulling something out of their sleeves and once again dominating the market. However, this time around, things seem to be different. There's this lack of motivation or direction that seems to have affected Apple's vision for the future, and you can see this from the leaks and rumors that have come out for the iPhone 14 series. And if you want more proof, just take a look at the recent developer conference that just happened. You see, recently the WWDC event was held where Apple showcased what they were bringing to the table in terms of software for the future. The first thing they announced was the iOS 16, which brings a lot of quality of life improvements, along with some cool new features like being able to extract PNG widgets on the lock screen, share your car key with other people, turn your iPhone into a giant viewfinder, iCloud shared photo library, and much more. There's definitely some cool features that should improve the overall experience. Then Apple announced the new M2 chip, which is based on a 5nm process, and it offers slight improvements over the M1 Plus. They also announced a new MacBook Air that looks very similar to the old model, but it does come with the M2 chip under the hood. Overall, the event was good, but it lacked one very important thing: the vision. You see, over the years, Apple has done an excellent job at selling people on their vision. Whether it was Steve Jobs back in the day or Tim Cook, they always had a strong stage presence, and they were able to sell people on the idea of what they were trying to achieve. But this year, Tim Cook just didn't have that spark. He seemed unmotivated, and the whole presentation just felt like he didn't care. Even the leaks are starting to show the same kind of behavior. We're seeing reports coming out from John Prosser, Ming-Chi Kuo, and Mark Gurman saying that Apple is canceling multiple products and postponing others just because they do and think it makes sense to release them. For example, Apple has canceled the development of an iPhone that would have used the full-screen Face ID technology, meaning that the notch on the iPhone would have disappeared completely, and we would have had an immersive display that houses all the sensors behind the screen itself. This was supposed to happen in 2023, but Apple has canceled it and instead decided to go with the dynamic bill. Then there's the mixed reality headset, which Apple has been working on for over 7 years now. It was rumored to launch in 2022, then 2023, and now it's said to be postponed till 2024. We don't know the exact reason why Apple is making these decisions, but it's obvious that something is happening internally that is affecting their productivity and their vision for the future. Now you might ask, what does this have to do with Samsung? Well, let me explain. See, over the past few years, Samsung has been on a mission to catch up to Apple in terms of quality and reliability, and I gotta say, they've done a pretty good job at it. If you take a look at the last few generations of Galaxy S series phones, you can see a clear improvement in terms of build quality and reliability. This is why people started switching from Apple to Samsung, just because they wanted something newer, better, and faster. But there's a problem with that, you see. When Apple releases a new product, they usually dominate the market with that product. For example, the AirPods. At first, people were skeptical about these wireless earbuds because they were expensive, didn't have that great of a battery life, and had a weird design. But as time went on, Apple kept improving on these AirPods, added active noise cancellation, transparency mode, spatial audio, and much better battery life. This caused people to forget about all the other wireless earbuds out there and only focus on AirPods because they knew that they were getting the best. And as of now, AirPods are the most popular wireless earbuds on the planet. Same thing goes for the Apple Watch, sure. There are some other good smartwatches out there, but compared to the Apple Watch, they pale in comparison. So what I'm trying to say is that whenever Apple releases a new product, it usually takes over the market because they always bring something different to the table. But this time around, things are different. People are sticking with their current phones longer than ever and waiting for something exciting to come out. Something that'll make them switch from the phone they currently have onto a new phone. And guess who's capitalizing on this opportunity? Samsung. Take a look at the latest sales numbers for smartphones, and you can see that Samsung is leading the market with 21%, while Apple is on the second place with 18%. This means that for the first time in many years, Samsung is beating Apple globally when it comes to sales. And you can see the same trend happening in the US as well. Now, you might ask, why is this happening? Well, this is happening because Samsung is bringing phones that offer the best value for money. If you take a look at the Galaxy S22 Ultra, you can see that it offers some incredible features for the price. For example, it offers the latest Snapdragon processor, the best camera system Samsung has ever put on a phone, a built-in S Pen, a large 1750 nit display, and a huge battery with fast charging. And then there's the price. You see, the base model starts at $1,200, which is $200 less than the base iPhone 13 Pro Max. On top of that, Samsung is offering trade-in deals where you can get up to $900 off if you trade in your older Galaxy flagship phone. That's a pretty good deal. Then if you're looking for something cheaper, there's always the Galaxy A series, which is by far the best mid-range phone out there. The Galaxy A73, for example, offers a flagship-grade camera system, a beautiful display, a big battery, and a sleek design for just $450. It's half the price of the iPhone 13, and yet it offers comparable features. And guess what? It's working. People are switching to Samsung because they're bringing phones that offer more for less. And if Apple doesn't change this trend, they might lose even more customers in the future. But what do you guys think? Do you think Apple is losing control of the smartphone war? Comment below, let me know. Well, everyone, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.